I'm Chubba Chetta, and I'm here with the brand new Cadillac ELR. The ELR is Cadillac's first plug-in hybrid. Chevrolet already sells a plug-in hybrid called the Volt, and the ELR uses the technology from the Volt, but it's a little more powerful and looks completely different. We're going to talk to some of the people who can tell us about those differences. I'm here with Chris Thomason, the ELR chief engineer, and he can tell us all about this hardware. Now, I know what we have under the hood here is very similar to what's in the Chevy Volt. So describe this hardware for me.
In terms of the propulsion system, Chubby, you're exactly right. It is, in essence, the award-winning propulsion system, the EREV, or Extended Range Electric Vehicle Propulsion System, that we brought to market in the Volt. However, that's where the familial resemblance ends, and in terms of what we wanted to do with this vehicle, a very provocative design, progressive innovation here. We're using the propulsion system to give a little more power, and that then affords us the ability at a vehicle level to have more power to do the features and functions that a Cadillac customer would expect in this type of vehicle.
Now, you say it has a little bit more power. Do we still have the same 1.4 liter gasoline engine and the same electric motor that the Volt has?
In essence, that's correct. You have the 1.4 liter IC engine as the generator, if you will, that comes into play once you've run through your EV driving. Okay, that's afforded by the motors that are embodied in the XF30 transmission here.
So you've basically got virtually the same hardware, but you're able to drive it a little bit harder through different programming.
I would say that's a good way to state it.
So Chris, tell me about the chassis changes between the ELR and the Volt.
For the chassis on the ELR, we knew we needed to do more and something that was right where our Cadillac customer would expect it to be. So you see 20-inch wheels and tires that are positioned at a wider track, attached to aluminum knuckles and control arms that are a hyperstrut suspension. Along with the rear, we've introduced the Watts Link for increased lateral control, and as well we have a continuous damped control system, the CDC system we reference.
What performance do you expect with the ELR?
I'd say 0 to 60 right now. It's a little early. We're still working that in. I'd say around the 8-second mark, if you were to pick it, is something to talk about now, but it's not done yet. And then top speed, 100 miles an hour.
What was your biggest engineering challenge in producing the ELR?
I'd say the biggest engineering challenge, and I've been given the luxury of doing this twice now in my career, is recreating the show car and yet having it afford all the functionality and not sacrificing anything that's required in today's market.
In the ELR, you've said there's additional performance in the powertrain. Where does that come from relative to the Volt?
Relative to the Volt, Chubba, the additional power comes from what we've learned about the battery and state of charge and what we're able now to afford our customers in the ELR that then can be utilized, that additional use of energy through the propulsion unit to the tire patch, and that's how we're learning more and providing more to our Cadillac customer.
Darren Jesse is the product manager for the Cadillac ELR, and he can tell us about the car's new features and also their intended customers. Tell me about some of the interior features that gives the ELR that sense of luxury.
Well, the first thing we did is we took some premium materials and we tightly wrapped them around some really sculptured surfaces in the interior. So we're looking at obviously leather, but we're also looking at suede materials, as well as some premium wood and carbon fiber.
Now, in looking at the specs, I saw that the ELR is actually a little bit longer than the ATS. What kind of interior space and utility do you have?
We provide a seating for a 2+2, so that means the focus was on the driver and the front passenger to give the ultimate driving experience for that driver.
Does the ELR have any competitors on the market today?
We actually think there isn't a competitor. We were going after a space that really didn't exist in the marketplace. Obviously, you have some other vehicles out there that provide similar technologies, but this is something unique. It's a coupe, it's focused on the driver, it's focused on the driver experience.
Are there any special features having to do with driving in the ELR that the Volt doesn't offer?
Well, the one item that we're really focused on, that we're really excited about, is this Regen on Demand, which is on by enabling some paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. It's been developed based on our experiences with electrified vehicles that we wanted to provide a customer a unique driving experience. What we did is we took your typical paddle shifters that you found on luxury sport sedans, luxury sport coupes. Instead of shifting gears, we enable the driver to essentially go into a regeneration mode where they're going to regenerate some of the vehicle's momentum into electrical energy stored on the battery. What this does is provide a little bit of a deceleration, similar to downshifting a manual transmission vehicle. You know, certainly brake pedal is for use to stopping, and we always encourage customers to use the brake pedal to stop. But when the traffic dictates and when they want to slow down just slightly, a little bit more than just coasting, they can enable this regen on demand and essentially do what we call one pedal driving.
When is the ELR going to go on sale?
The ELR is scheduled for production at the end of 2013 calendar year, and those units will be on sale beginning of 2014.
I know that's a long way off, but just in general ballpark terms, what will an ELR cost?
Well, the pricing is really not finalized for the vehicle, but we can kind of tell you that it's not in the realm of the supercar, and certainly not in the realm of your conventional car. We're truly a Cadillac, truly a luxury vehicle, probably somewhere in between what you see as a Fisker and what you see as a Volt.
That's a pretty large piece of territory, isn't it?
Sure.
On recent Cadillacs, I've seen a variety of instrument clusters. What do you have on the ELR?
So the ELR, we went all digital. We have an 8-inch LCD color screen that we offer all the driver pertinent information such as speed, how much battery range you have, how much fuel range you have. But within this gauge cluster, we allow 4 different configurations. So it allows the customer kind of tailor the gauge cluster based on whether they're how they're driving the vehicle, what information they want to see, or if it's just a different driver altogether.
Now in normal mode, if you start off with a fully charged ELR, you're running on battery first and then gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you live out of town and you're driving into a city,
Sure.
and you'd rather preserve your electric power, so you run in this lowest pollution mode in the city. Do you have that option of doing that?
Yes, the ELR comes with 4 different driving modes. Tour is the default mode. We also have Sport and Mountain. And then the 4th mode is one that you kind of are referencing, which we call Hold mode. And that allows the customer to take the battery range that's stored in the battery, hold that or put that on reserve, and run on the gas-powered electric generator. And that allows them to drive a little more efficiently on the highway and then save their electric range for the city driving.
Tim Kozub is responsible for the way this ELR looks. What was your design goal in creating this car?
That was pretty simple for us. The design goal was create the show car. That was our benchmark. That was our goal to hit for this style of the car.
Often when you convert a show car into a production car, you lose a lot of the sizzle because you have to inject practicality. How did you deal with that problem in the case of the ELR?
Well, it was definitely there, but I think we definitely had the A team, from styling to engineering. Proportionally, it's different, but I think we were able to tune all the surfaces and work so close with engineering that they knew where we needed to go, and we knew that where they needed to go, and we kind of both met in the middle ground and came out with a car that looks, I believe, identical to the show car.
The ELR is instantly identifiable as a Cadillac. What are the cues that make that identification possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think the cues that make up a Cadillac, I mean, they're so distinctive, so we knew exactly where to go. We'll start with the center grille. I mean, and really what makes a Cadillac and the center part is its grille. It's the egg crate design that we know and love from the history of Cadillac. So what we've done here is we've done the egg crate design, but we use pads instead of a textured grille. So each one of these pads is a black chrome spinel finish. So it's a very high-end look.
Is there any airflow in that area at all?
There is, and we try to make it as invisible as possible. And that's where, again, we worked with engineering, and they understood that we want to keep this look, but that we also do need to bring some air into the car as well. So underneath each one of these pads, there's little slots that will take in air, but virtually invisible as you come up to the car.
Tim, tell me about some of the side view aspects that identify the ELR as a Cadillac.
The side view aspect here that really makes it distinctively a Cadillac is this main feature line that runs down the body side of the car. You know, it starts here in the tail lamp here, this signature tail lamp for Cadillac, runs through seamlessly into the quarter panel and then through into the door. It adds a ton of power, a ton of athleticism through the vehicle, and it's a very clean statement to the car, but this one line kind of drives the whole vehicle forward. So I think, you know, we saw this in the show car, and we wanted to make sure that this was something that we definitely put into the production vehicle, that it maintained it from show car to production. Right off the bat, I'll just say that, you know, we wanted to make this car look sexy and not particularly have the look of an electric car, to scream electric. We wanted it to be a sporty, aggressive, styling car. I think that's what the people are calling for. And also, it's green. You know, this thing is electric. So I think we're looking to make a statement out of it, to be very dynamic, to be very bold, which I think it is.
From a design standpoint, what's the coolest part of the ELR?
For me, the coolest part of this vehicle, the ELR, is from head to toe, this is the show car. And then I think the detailing of the car, from the grille, the satin chrome against the black chrome, and then all of the lamps, these LED lamps, these little crystal chiclets inside the lamps that are just like beautiful little gems inside of a display case, just came out really nice. So I'm really happy with how the vehicle came out, and it's a tribute to the whole team, design and engineering, that worked on it.
Even before talking to these guys, we knew that the Cadillac ELR was based on the Chevy Volt platform and used a lot of Volt technology. But obviously, it's a completely different animal. In fact, I think the ELR is going to establish a new market segment for green cars that are sexy and just flat cool. Now, we won't get a chance to drive the ELR until sometime late this year, and that's when we'll see if its performance can match its visual swagger. I'm Chubba Chetta. See you next time.